What's your first name? Hey, he's back. Oh, you are? He was gone for a month. Then what? Alright, we have 13 people. I'm going to go through the real quick. Make sure I got everyone. We got David Q, David W,
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to GLG's Wooper Wednesday. I am Jackson, and we have
Jake.
Yeah.
Normally you normally.
Okay, well, I don't.
Well,
okay.
changed it.
Well, I don't know.
You
I don't know.
Switch up on me
Okay.
like that.
Well, maybe I felt like doing something new this week. Anyways,
the flow is better.
The flow's gone. The flow's gone.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Anyways,
I'm not saying it's gone. I'm just saying it's better if you go through this one continuous state.
Yes. Anyways, welcome back. This week we do not have a challenge. We do have a cup on Saturday, which also will be live streamed. I don't think I'll be here to cast it, but maybe Jake will, depending if we can get a second person to fill me in. We are just having our regular weekly this week, our regular Wooper Wednesday, and we are about to get into round one. We have Gina versus Joe. I think Gina's typically on Mega Clefable.
Yes, I have seen her playing that lately. A sort of psychic box type of deck with the Mega Diancie in there as well.
Yeah, and definitely the Wonder Patches, definitely. From what I can see in Joe's hand so far, I thought I potentially saw a Grim Snarl, but I definitely did see a Frostlass, so this could just be Monkey Lass.
Could just be Monkey Lass. Could be... No, I think that's a Grim Snarl in the back of the hand there. And I think...
All right. Oh, okay. Completely different.
Oh, and a Charmander for Gina.
Could possibly just be Zard this week.
And a Salandit.
Okay.
For Gina.
Something new.
Playing some kind of Salazzle deck. Could be the Salazzle EX.
It could be.
The burns and poisons your opponent's active Pokemon and then switches itself out to the bench.
That is true. Just a hit and run poker.
Yep. Especially potent when combined with that Magmortar. That's able to increase burn damage by 3 per each one that you have on the bench. As well as switching into that Pecharunt, which makes poison tick for an additional 5 damage counters.
All right. On Joe's side of the board over here, it is obviously probably your average Grimmsnarl. We're going to see some Frostlass. We're going to see some Monkey Dories hitting the board. And here comes a Spike Myth. I don't see much cards or Pokemon Search in his hand, so I think it might just be the Spike Myth to get out another Impidimp.
I think we saw a Pokepad in there.
Oh, yeah, we did.
So we should be able to... Oh, and the Petrol.
That also works.
That is Secret Box if he wants it. That is all the setup you could possibly ask for, as long as it's not hiding over in those prize cards.
Not seeing too much pink.
It's going to just be for a Buddy Poffin. Not seeing the Secret Box there. Could be in the prizes. Could also just be opting to save it for later.
This is true. It could alternate. I mean, obviously, it's probably Secret Box. I think Grimmsnarl exclusively runs Secret Box. I was going to say maybe something else, but I couldn't think of anything else that Grimmsnarl would actually want to run.
No, I don't think so. I think the efficiency of being able to find a Poffin plus that Spikemouth Stadium, as well as some sort of utility tool like the Air Balloon, is just a little too much for the deck to pass up. So I think we're going to see the classic Grimmsnarl spread here. Likely another Impidimp going to come out from this Spikemouth, and that Pokepad might get used to look for a Monkey Dory here.
That seems like the most viable option. I'm looking at the deck again, and I don't see any pink, so I'm assuming that that Secret Box is likely prized.
That would make the most sense. I think usually if you have that turn 2 Petrol, I think usually Secret Box is the card you want to be grabbing. Set yourself up in as good a position as you can for the remainder of the game.
Although in Joe's case, I think I might have actually saved it, because given the fact that he already had the Spike Myth out, I think the Buddy Poffin either way might have been the correct choice here. But that's just my personal opinion. There's the Pokepad for the Monkey Dory.
I do agree. I think if you're discarding all the stuff that you're going to grab off the Secret Box, then, you know, why are you using the box?
Exactly. Save it for later when you need to fish out a boss.
Right. You don't need to use your Ace Spec if you just draw everything.
Exactly.
It's the Grimmsnarl way.
That's how it always works. Unfortunately, TM Evolution is no longer in this format, which sucks. Grimmsnarl used to heavily rely on both TM Evolution and TM Devolution.
Helmet there, but it doesn't look like he could find the energy to retreat, so not going to be able to get into the Budew.
Wow, candy straight into Zard.
That rare candy into the Mega Charizard XEX.
Here comes Meowth as well with that Buddy Catch, was it?
Last
ditch catch.
Be able to search out a supporter of Gina's choice from her deck here. Likely going to be looking for some way to get that Salazzle out, I would assume.
I would assume so. It's actually just going to be a Lily's instead. I don't think I hate that as a choice, given that she only has, I think, 2 cards in hand left. That'll just refresh her hand, give her a fresh 8 since she's still at 6 prize cards. Could get her to the Salazzle, could get her an out to the Salazzle. Either way, it's a nice way to see more cards.
Absolutely. Definitely the supporter you want to be playing on your first turn you have it available. See as many cards as you can.
You know, I was going through my bulk the other day, and I found the original Lily's Determination when I was trying.
Really?
I'm in hunt to finish Shining Legends Master Set.
Well, I don't think that'd be Lily's Determination.
No, it's
I think that's
just Lily.
Lily.
It's just Lily. That's what I was about to say. It's just Lily. It does the same thing, but you can only draw 8 if it is your first turn.
Markedly worse.
Yes, extremely worse. We're seeing the air balloon in hand there. Another Charmander. I think that's a Pokepad as well. Fire energy. I'm not seeing any way to potentially get to the Salazzle here. Although I'm trying to see. I'm wondering if this deck plays Oricorio as well. For the acceleration onto the Mega Charizard or just any fire Pokemon for that fire energy there. So Charizard can swing out for larger numbers.
Yeah, definitely one that pairs very well with that Charizard. In fact, in terms of fire acceleration, sort of the premier option, as your other option would be Emboar, and that would force you to go through a whole stage 2 line.
Yeah, and markedly worse than having a basic that can do the exact same thing, even if it is for 2 prizes instead of just that one, because then you'd have to fish for the rare candy. TM Evo's not in format anymore, so essentially you're taking 2 turns to get there. Just doesn't feel good.
Being worth 2 prize cards versus 1 prize card for your support, I think you're okay with that either way if it means they're not knocking out your 3 prize attacker.
Exactly. What card is that?
Looks like both players are shuffling their hands. That might be an old printing of Judge.
Looks like it.
In fact, I think it is. I think that's the one where he has all the Beldum floating around him and such.
Yep, that adds up. I think that's from Heart Gold Soul Silver era.
One of those older sets, very old.
You can tell by the fading on the yellow there and the big supporter at the top.
Yeah.
I miss when they used to do that. That looks so much better than just having the little stamp on that. So they're both going to shuffle their hands and draw 4. In the meantime, they're going to shuffle their hands and draw 4. In Joe's hand, we finally do see that secret box. It was not prized. I simply just missed it because sometimes I'm a little blind, and he's going to discard his entire hand, dropping the Morgrim, a Night Stretcher, and something else that I cannot see. But I think that's probably not a bad option here. It can get you out to that Lily's Determination to refresh your hand as well after you're able to play everything else. Rare candy.
There that he does have to discard that Morgrim rather than use evolve it here. But if he's grabbing the rare candy, that makes sense, as he'll be searching out as one of those Impidimps, I think, went down last turn.
Yes, both of them did, I think.
Only one of them is going to be able to evolve, and that's going to be the one that he wants to search out that Grimmsnarl and rare candy into play, start getting back onto the counter offensive here.
Yep, that adds up. And here comes that Lily's Determination that I was just talking about. I don't think this is going to be a swing. I think this is just going to be a straight swing into Zard, and then maybe putting damage counters on that Pectorant because it cannot evolve. Alternatively, onto the Meowth to make prize trade a little bit easier because it is sitting at that 190. Is it, or is it 170? Oh, then you can just knock that thing straight out. I'm talking nonsense. Don't listen to me. Maybe onto that Salazzle then. Either way, it fixes some of your damage calcs with Grimmsnarl since you're only swinging typically for 180. But you do also have Salazzle. Frostlass's Freezing Shroud ability, where every Pokemon on the board with an ability besides Frostlass will gain 10 damage in between turns.
Yes, so in the combination with that 30 damage from Grimmsnarl's Shadow Bullet, going to be able to put a lot of pressure onto that Pectorant, as it does only have 80 HP. So between the 30 and then the 20 damage between each turn cycle, going to whittle down its HP pretty quickly. Alternatively, could look to apply that pressure to Meowth. Would take a little longer to get it into threat range where it threatens a knockout, but does offer to net more prize cards for doing so.
And I think it's just going to be a Shadow Bullet here, swing in for 180. We're going to see, oh, and the 30 damage does go onto the Petarant. That adds up, because that's going to turn into 50, or sorry, not 50 now. It's going to turn into 50 by the end of Gina's next turn. And you can see that Joe is also adding his own damage counters. That's because Frostlass does affect both sides of the board, which for Grimmsnarl is a good thing, given the fact that you have so many Monkey Dories to throw that damage back onto the other side.
Yep, Grimmsnarl does not hit especially hard with its own attack, only hitting for 180, so it uses the combo of the Frostlass and the Monkey Dory to generate some additional damage on its side of the board, as Grimmsnarl already plays Dark Energy and sets up its own, leaving your hand attaches free with Dark Energy for those Monkey Dories to help fix that damage onto targets that have a little bit more HP to get through.
What I'm wondering here is, does that Impidimp have 3 Dark Energy? I mean, that would add up. I'm assuming this deck is probably playing Energy Switch as well, which is a nice way to basically just get that Dark Energy onto Monkey Dory for free as well. Once you punk up, if you attach an extra Dark Energy, you can Energy Switch it over to the Monkey Dory.
Yep, I think that is the general idea. You want to put 2 onto it to enable it to attack, and then the 1 to Energy Switch off. Though it's interesting to attach the full 3 to an Impidimp rather than onto a Grimmsnarl, as that Impidimp will be able to set itself up to attack if it makes its way to being a Grimmsnarl, and otherwise, if it somehow ends up getting itself knocked out, could threaten to take a decent amount of energy away from Joe, and with Super Rod gone, not as great of a way to recycle the energy back into your deck.
I mean, there is Energy Recycler.
True.
But I don't think anyone's really running Energy Recycler unless you have an extremely high energy count. I think, actually, I'm trying to figure out how much energy Grimmsnarl typically runs. I think pre-rotation it was somewhere around that 9 to 10 range.
I think 9 was fairly standard.
Yeah. I don't think that's probably changed much post-rotation. I think instead they just add energy switches in as well. Considering that you lose Earthen Vessel. So.
There's that Salazzle EX with its Nasty Plot as its first attack. Search your deck for up to 2 cards and put them into your hand. And the second, can't recall the attack name, does, I want to say 100 damage, and then burns and poisons your opponent's active Pokemon.
I'm going to say, I think this is the first time I've ever actually seen Salazzle used, which is very interesting to me. Let's find that name here. Salazzle EX. The second attack is called Dire Nails, and it is 100 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned and poisoned. Switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon for 2 fire energy, which doesn't seem to be much of an issue in Mega Charizard if you are running that Oricorio, because then you can just manually get you can just cheat out all of your energy, essentially. Back onto Joe's side of the board here, we are going to see another Lily's Determination, drawing him 8 because he's still at 6 prize cards. He is still at 6 prize cards. That Mega Charizard retreated out with the air balloon into just a regular Charizard, or regular Charmander, excuse me, with the free retreat. With, I think it's the Agile ability or some Agile.
I think you might be right.
Either way, if it has no energy attached, it can retreat for free.
So, putting herself in a position where she can just pivot out, or potentially just looking to throw her least important 1 prize Pokemon in the way of a Shadow Bullet to buy a turn to reposition into the Pokemon that she wants to be attacking with.
That does make sense. I do see another rare candy in Joe's hand, but no Grimmsnarl. However, the Spikemouth is still active, so technically he could rare candy into another Grimmsnarl here.
I think that is likely what we're going to see come down, as those Grimmsnarls are the only Stage 2 Pokemon in that deck, so not much other use for those rare candies. Although, there could be an argument to save them for late game to help getting out a potential 3rd Grimmsnarl a little bit easier, as this current Grimmsnarl is not under a whole lot of threat, nor is the Impidimp on the bench, so could just play it safe, play it slow, evolve into a Morgrim this turn, and save that rare candy.
Nope, we're going straight into Grimmsnarl.
All gas, no brakes.
Yep, all gas, no brakes. We're just going to see that Rare Candy proc straight in the Grimmsnarl. I don't think he's going to activate the Punk Up ability here, unless he... Because I didn't see any Energy Search in hand either. Or, not Energy Search, Energy Switch in hand at the current moment. I do see another Snover, or not Snover, Snorunt in hand, which could evolve into another Frostlass, add more damage onto the board for him to toss over and just to get set up. We're going to see Pheasantipity hitting the board as well, or at least being searched out by Joe. Probably trying to capitalize on getting those getting more draw when those prize cards are taken, because the one thing that Grimmsnarl does not have is draw.
Yes, a classic problem that Grimmsnarl has struggled with is being able to find its impactful supporters that the deck really relies on to function. Stuff like the Lily's Determination, pre-rotation stuff like the Iono, and most threateningly stuff like Boss's Orders, as you don't really have much bench space to use Meowth to access those.
No, you want your bench filled up with Monkey Dories and Frostlass, because that is your secondary damage output engine, because 180 nowadays does not swing for very much, especially in this format where we're seeing regularly upwards of 300 HP. Being able to get extra energy onto all of these Pokemon on the opposite side of the board, extra damage onto the opposite side of the board is extremely helpful for the damage calculations and keeping up with the prize trades. All right, so it is Gina's turn now. I'm trying to see what ace spec that is. Is that Cyclone?
A little hard to tell. Could be the Scoop Up Cyclone to be able to reset the HP on that big Mega Charizard there.
I don't think I hate that as a choice, considering that you just... I mean, I think you're probably running mostly Rare Candy in this deck anyways for the Charizard. Trying to figure out what that is, because it kind of also looks like Terra Crystal, but there's no Terra Pokemon in this deck.
I think I may have caught a glimpse of yellow. It could be the Precious Trolley.
It could also.
This deck does look like kind of a combo deck that wants a bunch of different pieces to function. You know, it wants the Salazzle, it wants the Pecharunt, and it wants those Magmortars, if those are in there, to be able to boost the damage of those special conditions. And so Precious Trolley, along with Petrol, may offer a way to get all of those set up, especially now that Nest Ball has left the format. So finding the 80 HP basics like the Pecharunt and the Magmar becomes a little bit harder.
I think the Charmander is also 80 HP. The Mega one. Yeah, the Mega Charmander
as well.
The one with the Agile ability that I'm very sure I'm wrong about. It's Agile something. I feel like it's not just called Agile. But that will also allow you to search that out, which isn't a bad option either, but is especially considering that the Charmanders from Obsidian Flames have rotated as well, and those were 70 HP and searchable by Buddy Poffin. It is just called Agile. I see. This is the issue. I start doubting myself, and then I decide that I'm wrong.
Snowsink, Jack.
Snowsink. So Snowsink. It's always the random stuff that I can just remember. Let's see what's happening here. So she does have she does have her board quite set up, but there's no real way to accelerate the fire energy here without the Oricorio. She's got, I think,
gonna be just pulling
another Charmander
out with that Pokepad.
She's got one fire energy on that Charizard, which is not going to be enough to knock that out, or to knock that Grimmsnarl out in its current state. The Charmander is interesting. I don't think I hate it being benched, but at the same time, I don't know if Oricorio is even run in this deck. I'm just running off of the assumption that it is.
And frequently, those two Pokemon, you do see them paired together. And it looks like we are going to be going into the Salazzle to attack instead. You'll be seeing an attach from hand come down onto there, get it up to that 2 energy for Dire Nails, putting all sorts of conditions on this Grimmsnarl, and switching out to the Pecharunt so that it takes even more damage.
There you go.
During checkup.
That
poison
certainly helps. That's definitely a lot more damage than discarding that 1 fire energy off a Mega Charizard would do. Trying to think.
You
about
see a total of 180 damage after those conditions have ticked for turn, and then gonna have to see the coin flip here to see whether Grimsnarl recovers from its burn. And heads, so it will recover.
I'm trying to think about something. There's something that crossed my mind and I lost it.
Additional damage.
No, it's 5.
Is it 5?
Petron is 5. Because it's 60, I think.
Never quite remember.
Yeah.
All I know is when the perilous jungle came down, and I saw the brute bonnet and that Petron, it was more than enough to KO my lone starting basic.
The timer would start, and then you'd be done, and then you'd have to say, well, I'll just wait until next round, and then you'd see another poison package. Oh, Roaring Moon, how I miss you. I think I remember what I was going to say now. Typically, the Mega Charizard X was ran in combination with the Obsidian Flames Charizard as well before rotation. But more importantly, what's happening on the board, that Grimmsnarl is going to be retreated out to recover its special conditions and instead push up the other Grimmsnarl. We're going to see the Pecharunt here probably get swung into and knocked out unless Joe has a boss in hand.
And I think the switching out of the Grimmsnarl was a bit less about recovering the special conditions and more about trying to hide that damage to prizes onto the bench, making it harder for Gina to take prize cards unless she's able to find that boss's orders to bring it back up to the active.
But I think it is at 320 already. Does this not just get knocked out in between turns with the Frostlass?
Oh, it may.
Because if it's at 320 already, then that's just 2 free prize cards for Gina.
No, it looks like it'll be at 220.
So once again, I can't count.
Okay, 3 6s and a 4, coming up 100 short on your count there.
I cannot count. I can't count. It's a miracle that I'm graduating on Friday. Anyways,
congratulations.
Thank you. I finally got my capstone grade back, so that means I am graduating. So
excellent.
We're good. But anyways, I think he only really has 2 cards in hand here. We're going to see that energy switch definitely onto the Monkey Dory to toss some of that damage back over. Or did he search his deck
Searching
for
it out. Yep.
Oh, he used Petrol for it. That's what it was. Yep.
And then, yeah, that third dark energy that we mentioned earlier going to be energy switched off to the Monkey Dory, opening up access to that Adrenabrain.
Now we just
potentially send 30 over to that Pecharunt and take the knockout during the turn here and force Gina to promote another Pokemon so that this damage from the Shadow Bullet is not wasted into a Pokemon that would otherwise be able to be knocked out.
I think I like that play as well. The other play that I'm seeing here is, the only response that I can see from Gina here to keep the prize trade a little bit even is, if that does happen, promoting that Charmander.
It looks like we're going to see the damage get moved over to the Meowth.
I think that's also okay, because getting damage on that pretty early, if you can just wait the long game out on that Meowth, you're going to be able to take that knockout for free off the bench without a boss's orders.
Yep, and we see the damage from the Shadow Bullet getting sent there as well as another Freezing Shroud tick coming in, putting ever more damage on that Meowth and creeping closer to taking some extra prize cards.
Joe is going to go down to 4 prizes here. We're going to see the Mega Charizard promoted back up, still with that 1 energy attached. It's probably going to be a retreat to the Salazzle here, unless... Yeah, I think it would have to be a retreat to the Salazzle here, unless she wants to swing in and discard all of her energy.
Yep, I think ideally the line that Gina would be looking for another Pecharunt or some way to get that one out of the discard, a boss's orders to bring back up that Grimmsnarl, and another Dire Nails to swing for the knockout.
I do see the Fire Breather as well, which does make me think that this deck plays... I'm very stuck on this Oricorio, because in the first iteration of this deck, the Oricorio was the direct partner, but at the same time...
You are right. I think it is the best
Salazzle was here.
The best enabler for the Charizard, as well as being able to set up that Salazzle. It makes sense to see it in the deck.
It's giving Chien Pao and Baxcalibur vibes. Back when, though, that was a little bit more viable back before rotation, where it was essentially this, but a stage 2 instead of Oricorio.
Notably, part of the reason we may not be seeing these Oricorios is because they could still be on those prize cards for Gina, and because basic EX Pokemon that are not Mega Evolutions are actually fairly hard to search out right now.
Yeah, unless you have
with
an
the
Ultra
lack
Ball.
of Nest Ball. Yes, if she does have an Ultra Ball, could go ahead and search it out there. If it is that Precious Trolley that we were seeing in hand, that
She would
could
also be able to get that.
functionally be used to search out one single basic.
I was about to say I have 2 Oricorios. I have the full art and the promo one from the UPC.
Very nice. Such a pretty
If anyone needs Oricorios, hit my line. You know where to find me. I'm always here. Anyways, Gina is going to search her deck out. How is she searching right now?
I think just using that Spikemuth gem to
that would
search her
make
deck
sense.
there without committing any cards, just figure out what exactly it is that she wants to look for before she commits any resources.
I'm still trying to see if I can see a glimpse of Oricorio in there, and I think I am just seeing Salazzle. They might end up, I think if there are any Oricorio in this deck, they are in the prizes at that point, which is significantly a bit more hindering for Gina, considering that without it, you're just swinging with Salazzle unless you can get a bunch of energy manually attached so Charizard can swing out. Because Charizard, I think, does 70 damage per fire energy discarded off of your Pokemon.
I think it's 80.
Is it?
I believe it's higher than Raging Bolt's damage, and Raging Bolt is 70.
It could be 80. I think it might be 80.
It could even be 90.
It could be 90. That would change things significantly if it was 90.
It is 90.
Ooh, okay. So
with that Inferno X.
So you'd be swinging for 270 damage here, which isn't that bad, especially against a Grimmsnarl. It's a very good poke if you discard 3, but at the same time, that puts you very behind on the energy curve and sends a lot to the discard pile.
Yep, and swinging for 270 there while the Grimmsnarl has 30 on it would leave you just short from those that Frostlass tick of getting it actually knocked out. And while that would be a lot of pressure, I don't think you can afford to leave a damaged 3 prizer in the active when that Shadow Bullet is threatening to take multiple KOs next turn.
Oh, not at all. And here comes that Nails. Dire Nails. Dire Nails. I was about to say I had it in my head, and then I second-guessed myself. It's going to be Dire Nails coming in, swinging for an unholy amount of damage, because that Pecharunt did hit the board again. So I'm assuming it's just going to be a retreat into that, and then 60 more on top of the 100. So 160, which isn't that bad into a big Pokemon like Grimmsnarl when you're able to promote a 1-prize Pokemon afterwards.
And there's the flip. Pokemon stays burned between turns, as it's going to take a total of 80 damage from the combination of the burn and poison there.
So Gina's got a lot of damage on Joe's side of the board. Both of those Grimmsnarls are looking extremely threatened, and Joe doesn't exactly have an Impidimp set up to return off of that.
He does have the Monkey Dory to be able to alleviate a little bit of that pressure.
He does.
And one of the things that this fire deck lacks is the ability to threaten both of those Pokemon on the same turn with something like Adrenabrain. As unless there is an attacker in here that is able to hit multiple targets, she's only going to be able to deal with the one that's in the active.
Yes.
Which might just be too slow of a game plan.
And I don't think any of these Pokemon that Gina's running in her deck as well is going to be able to swing onto the bench by pinging damage, like that Mega Starmie with the 50 damage, or Dragapult's Phantom Dive. So essentially...
There is that Mega Charizard Y, which can swing to 210 for 3 energy, but without being able to open up space for the Oricorio, it would be difficult for that card to find its way into play.
She does have a Charmeleon on the bench.
The Adrenabrain is going to pick up the KO on that Meowth, taking Joe down to 2 prize cards and threatening to end the game with a boss's orders onto the damaged Mega Charizard here. Potentially also threatening to end the game with a boss onto that Pheasantipity, as it should have racked up enough damage from these freezing shrouds now that it will be within range of Shadow Bullet.
I think there's a lot of damage on both sides of the board right now. I think that Joe is likely in a better position here than Gina, solely for the fact that she's lacking energy for the most part, and he's also 3 prizes ahead of her. And she's got that heavily damaged Mega Charizard sitting on the board as well. There goes the Pecharunt. That's going to bring Joe down to 1 prize card remaining, so pretty much anything is open on the board for him here, as long as he can find that boss's orders. That Salazzle is going to be... Or, well, no, you have to retreat Salazzle. So Gina's just kind of stuck here, unless she has some form of removal off the board.
You see the coin flip here for the burn. Another Tails. The Pokemon is going to stay burnt.
And that is going to sit at 240 damage over there, which is a decent amount.
It's quite a bit.
That's a decent amount.
Unfortunately, as it's not enough to KO, Gina is left in a very spooky spot
And
here.
that is the Precious Trolley.
It'll be very difficult for her to find a way to take 5.
And there's
prize
that
cards.
Oricorio I was talking about with that UPC promo art. I'm wondering why that didn't hit the board earlier if Gina had Trolley in hand.
It's a good question. Maybe she thought that she needed to get down that Charmander, expecting her Mega Charizard to go down sooner, and sort of ended up inadvertently bench locking herself out of it.
And here comes the Fire Breather as well, which is going to allow her to search for, I think it's 5 fire energy out of her deck.
It is 7. Fire Breather is up to
7.
7 basic fire energy.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay, welcome back, Candace. For those of you who don't know, Candace was a supporter in F block that was highly used in Xian Pao, which is, as I said, a very similar deck to this.
It looks like
That's actually just going to be game.
Gina's scooping up the cards, recognizing she cannot take 5 in 1 turn, and Grimmsnarl will knock out whatever ends up in the active spot over there.
I don't think she had an out to that Mega Charizard either, to evolve that Charmeleon into a Mega Charizard.
Nope. And I don't know if that would have helped.
No.
Anyway, it could have baby tanked a hit from a Shadow Bullet, but if Joe has that boss's orders,
Yeah, I think Joe's board state was a little bit more set up here for the late game, especially with all that damage on the board that he can throw back at Gina's already damaged bench.
absolutely.
So there's the rare. So she did not have. I think the Oricorio. No, the Oricorio didn't come off the prizes. It came out of her deck with Precious Charlie. So I think she only does have 1 in there. Anyways, Candace lets you search your deck for 5 water energy. I think it was.
I did not play that long ago.
Yeah.
I say that long ago as though it was like
it's like 2 years at this point. Yeah. 2
just
years.
over a year that F cards were still legal.
Yeah.
As they were the cards that left us back in the spring of 2025.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Lugia V-Star. Rest in peace, Arceus V-Star. Rest in peace,
Yeah,
Raikou V. Rest in peace, Raikou V. I miss Miraidon.
V-Star and Arceus V-Star are looking up at us now, Jackson.
Well, Raikou's looking down at us. That card was wonderful. I miss the Raikou and the Suicune and the Entei, the Rondos, where you do 20 per each Pokemon on your bench, and they could draw 1 if they were in the active spot. Very good cards. Very good cards. Anyways, I miss Miraidon in its purest form, but Miraidon is actually looking up at us now. Miraidon is looking up at us.
Has rotated.
The good Miraidon rotated.
Scarlet Violet base set.
Yes, the tandem unit Miraidon that lets you search out 2 basic electric Pokemon out of your deck. I miss that card. I think that was probably my favorite deck to play over the past few years. Outside of Twilight Masquerade Dragapult. Twilight Masquerade Dragapult, when no one else was playing Dragapult, I felt like a real winner during that time. We are going straight into round 2, actually, now that the round is over.
Heading right into it.
No brakes. All gas, no brakes.
As our players go ahead and set up here, we've been given a couple of prize packs to open up here for your enjoyment.
All right. Oh, we get forward here.
Series 8.
This is Series 8.
No idea
I think
what the good ones in here are.
I think the Rocket's Mewtwo. I don't know if Dragapult is in this one. Well, obviously the Hollow Lily. Mega Signal, the Petrol,
Reshiram, Hollow Fighting Energy.
Hollow Hop's Choice Band. Technically, all of these cards are considered meta viable. Not play. I don't want to say playable because every Pokemon card is playable to some degree technically, but all of these cards are considered meta viable or at least meta frontrunners by the Pokemon Company themselves, and hence why they are placed into these packs that you get for participating in art and weekly leagues from participating stores that have organized play.
Yep. Little extra boost to the collection of the players to let them finish decks that they're still searching for the last couple of pieces of, or to branch out and try a new deck every now and again.
So we do have Hal versus Josh here. I think Josh said that he was going to be, and he was playing Dragapult this week, and I'm unsure if Hal is still on Raging Bolts or if he's pivoted to something else. I know at a different cup last Saturday Hal was playing no, he was playing Raging Bolt, but he was talking about Okidogi as well.
Yes, I know that has been one of his four running decks for the upcoming Indianapolis Regional Championships. So it'll be interesting to see what he ends up on here tonight.
And for as long as I've known him, Hal has actually been playing Raging Bolt through all the different variations of it, including back in Regulation F. But that Sada's Vitality was a very, very big hit. I think I say this every week about our favorite cockroach, that the Sada's Vitality was a major hit to Raging Bolt, and therefore they've had to adjust accordingly. Sada Vitality would let you take 2 basic energy cards out of your discard pile and attach them to your ancient Pokemon in any way you like. And if you attached any energy that way, you got to draw 3. Crazy energy acceleration and crazy draw.
Seeing some interesting cards here on Hal's side. Looks like we may have a Dragapult deck as we see some rare candies and some fire energy. I also saw a Hilda's, or not a Hilda's, a Rosa's Encouragement.
Ooh, yes. Yeah. I did see the Lilies as well, so it depends if he's going second or not, but we'll probably see that turn 1 Lilies.
You know, I think this might be a newer build of Pult Noir, as I think I saw a Duskull in that hand.
Ooh.
And that would make sense with the Rosa's Encouragement, as the card attaches 2 basic energy from your discard pile to one of your Stage 2 Pokemon, like a Dragapult, who needs 2 energy to attack, but can only be used while you're behind on prize cards, which, giving your opponent a prize card through Cursed Blast, helps you to facilitate on your own terms.
Weren't we just talking about attaching 2 energies from the discard? Anyways, yep, I think you are correct. That is going to be a newer version of Bombpult, with that Duskull coming in. Josh is actually on Raging Bolt, so I had it completely backwards. It's going to be a lightning attached to the Raging Bolt in the active. Area 0 to expand his bench, likely to get some birds down, as the Noctowl's Jewel Seeker is a very good draw engine for this deck in particular, especially if you have Terra Pokemon on the bench.
And just going to be a pass there. We see,
wow,
I believe, a Mega Kangaskhan in the hand for Josh, but no access to the Latios means no way to get into it and facilitate any card draw. The Area 0 immediately getting bumped for a Jamming Tower as Hal fires off a Pokepad to go searching for a Pokemon without a rule box, which will be that lovely, adorable Ascended Heroes Budew.
I do miss my Chud son. I have a tiny little Budew who comes to me. He comes with me to Wooper Wednesday, typically when I'm playing, to use him as the item lock marker. But I think I should be able to bring him next week. Bring my son to work day.
I have to bring mine as well. I have the not as old as your Budew plushie, but the larger. I think it might be in the Sitting Cuties line.
Yes.
When my Budews hit the board, I do enjoy setting him on top of the card and announcing that I am Dynamaxing my Budew.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. My Budew is old enough to pay rent. He's from 2007, so he's. I don't know why I'm not charging him rent. But anyways, we are going to see that Budew searched out, and then a Lily's Determination to draw 8, like I said. Just give Hal's hand a little refresh here. Ideally looking for more Pokemon search to get those Dreepies out early enough.
Yep, I think really going to be looking for a couple of things here, and that's going to be a Buddy Poffin for those Dreepies or just the Dreepies themselves, as well as either an energy or ideally the Latios or a search for it to be able to get into the Budew. And I think there is an Ultra Ball and a Buddy Buddy Pop
Wow.
in the hand there. Going to be able to get everything that we just listed
There's
off.
also a Dark Energy in hand as well. I don't think you actually play Monkey Dory in this matchup against Raging Bolt, so I wouldn't be mad just seeing that Dark Energy attached and then retreated into the Budew.
Definitely. I absolutely agree, as we can then use the Ultra Ball to find a Dracloak on our next turn, and then fill our hand back up with another Lily's Determination that we see there.
Whoa.
Oh, it looks like we are just going to use the Ultra Ball right now. Might just preemptively go and find one of those Dracloaks.
Interesting. You could be playing around the potential Budew play here, but I'm not sure if Bolt actually plays Budew. Nope, it's just another Dreepy.
Set up another Dreepy. Trying to get just as many onto the board as possible. Interesting that to see the triple Dreepy come down, as I know a lot of Bolt players like to go for the 2-and-2 setup, get 2 Dreepies, 2 Dusks, but being able to fire off 2 Ghosts in such an aggressive matchup as the Raging Bolt might be a little too idealistic of a game plan.
Yeah, especially when you're basically neck and neck for the entire prize trade here. Josh's first turn was a little bit bricky, so he didn't get very many options to set up. He has no Hoot Hoots on the bench, just that Raging Bolt inactive.
Though I do think this is the Hootless version of Bolt, as we are seeing a Cyrano from Josh. Going to be able
that would also do it.
Search out the entire box of slop to set up onto the bench and get himself into a position here to get back into the game. Going to be grabbing both of the Ogre Pawns as well as the Latios. If he can find a way to set up this Wellspring Mask Ogre Pawn in the single turn here,
that's going to be pretty devastating for Hal.
Attacks.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's going to be very devastating for Hal, as if Ogre Pawn has 3 energy attached, you can shuffle them back into your deck to be able to swing for 120 damage onto 2 Pokemon on the opposite side of the board.
100 damage to the active and 120 only to the bench.
My bad. Oh, it's just going to be the Mega Kangaskhan, actually. Hello, Mega Kangaskhan.
I think part of that is that we already used our supporter for turn for the Cyrano, so setting up Wellspring without the help of Crispin is a pretty gargantuan task.
Although, I think especially since I don't think this plays Terror Crystal, I think this does play Prime Catcher instead. The Crispin is in hand. There's actually 2 Crispins in hand. But I don't think that there was really any way to get there, but it is still extremely threatening just for any Dreepy or Dracloak that want to be on the bench in general. And then Hal is actually already setting up a Dusclops there.
And the really threatening thing with that torrential pump is that if Hal starts to attach energy to these Dreepies, once they start to become Dracloaks, Josh can start to target those down with the Wellspring Mask and try to deny the Phantom Dives. However, the Dragapult lists now have opted to run much more. We already saw the Rose's Encouragement, and a lot of lists also run the Crispin to be able to set up the Pokemon in a single turn, so that if those energies get targeted down, it's no biggie.
Yep,
you can just set it up in one turn.
Previous lists used to run the Neo Upper Energy, but that ended up being too much of a target if you were to attach it too early, and there wasn't very many ways to search it out.
You would search it out with the Hilda, but I think the bigger thing was that you had other supporters you wanted to be playing for the turn, namely Iono. So now that you're not playing Iono,
and
you are freed up to be playing Crispin or Rosa.
Candy straight into Pulp, gonna grab the Buddy Buddy Poffin there. We're gonna see the Area 0 Underdepths actually benefit Hal in this scenario, being able to bench an extra Pokemon off of the Buddy Buddy Poffin, potentially another Duskull here. So we are actually going to see all 4 Dreepy hit the board, which is going to be very interesting. I actually don't hate that, because if Area 0 does get bumped by Hal at any point in the game, and say he sets down something like a Pheasantipity or a Meowth, that's just going to bump to the discard and allow him to safely remove those Pokemon off of the board. But it is just going to be a shuffle for now. I don't know if Hal had Crispin in hand or not.
Yep, and we would be looking for the Crispin here, as the energies are not in the discard quite yet to enable Rose's Encouragement.
So it's just going to be a manual attach of the Fire Energy.
And looks like we'll just see another turn of the Itchy Pollen, buying some more time to set up while we wait for the first prize card of the game to drop.
Getting consistently itchy for multiple turns in a row. It's about the average state of the Pokemon meta right now.
Mm-hmm. And Itchy Pollen, previously a very potent tool against stuff like the Raging Bolt, as they relied a lot on the items to power through their deck a lot faster. Stuff like the Earthen Vessel, things like Ultra Balls to search out more Noctowls, whereas the newer lists are a lot more supporter-based, so the Itchy Pollen less impactful than it has previously been in the matchup.
And here comes the Crispin off of Josh's side of the board. I believe he's just going to be searching out, that water and grass energy, trying to set up Teal Mask Ogerpon, essentially.
And
Or not Teal Mask, sorry.
With the
Water Mask, or whatever it is.
The Itchy Pollen here on this turn is it's going to be denying Energy Switch.
Yes.
Which is going to make it harder to get that Wellspring set up this turn, and likely trying to force Josh to have to start the prize trade by knocking out a one-prize Pokemon and putting him onto odd prizes.
Which doesn't exactly feel good when you're playing against Dragapult as Raging Bolt, because you want to just be able to swing multiple times, get 3 solid 2-prize knockouts, and end the game.
It's definitely not great, but it does sort of get evened out in the end once any of those Dusclops or Dusk Noir get popped, as they do give up a prize card to the opponent when they're used, which would put him back onto even prizes.
That is true.
And we're just going to see a Sob on the Budew, locking it into the active and preventing a Phantom Dive from coming out next turn.
Yep, so the Sob lock is going to be kind of important here because it does slow Hal down a little bit, but at the same time, he already does have a Dragapult sitting on the bench with a Fire Energy. And if I remember correctly, in his hand is also already that Psychic Energy. So essentially, unless Josh has a boss here to be able to start swinging in or can get that Wellspring Mask set up, it's kind of a little awkward.
Yeah, we could see Josh get to the spot that he really wants to be in, taking 2 prizes here, and maybe being okay with this Wellspring going down on the backswing, as the Itchy Pollen 10 damage would set it just into range of a Phantom Dive.
Yes, extremely crucial 10 damage off of Itchy Pollen. Without it, you obviously would not be able to hit that Phantom Dive knockout on any of these Pokemon, actually. Because I think the Teal Mask, the Latias, and I don't know if this list runs Pheasantipity, they're all at 210 HP. So that very, very small amount of damage actually makes a big difference in the long run.
And it's the difference of giving up a prize card or not on Hal's side, as that Dusclops can get them into range, but obviously puts your opponent a little closer to winning when you do so.
We are going to see the Psychic attached to Dragapult here. I'm trying to see what's left in Hal's hand. Everything's so shiny. I can't really see much. Do see the Night Stretcher, but there's
like a boss as well, and make the follow-up attacks.
Night Stretcher back for that
more
Dragapult that he
threatening.
Ultra Balled away earlier, just evolving straight up to protect that Dracloak from the potential Wellspring Ogerpon attack. Not Sob, the other one.
Torrential Pump.
Torrential Pump. I don't know why I always forget every single thing about that card. Interestingly, Hal also does have the Unfair Stamp in hand, so if Josh does take a knockout this turn, he will be able to fire back and disrupt Josh's hand down to 2 cards and also see 5 new ones himself. We are going to see the Crispin here as well, grabbing the Grass and Lightning Energy. Likely candidates for being attached to that Wellspring Mask Ogerpon there. Alternatively, he could just also attach to that Raging Bolt because I think it does have a Fighting Energy on there. But I don't think he would. I think he needs to take 2 prizes here.
Yep, I don't think we necessarily mind taking one, given that that Dusclops is probably going to get used at some point, but taking 2 is always going to be preferable, as it is 1 less prize card that you need to get through later on, and this Wellspring Mask Ogerpon is likely going down and actually opts to knock out the Dusclops.
I don't think I hate that, considering that it helps with the keeping you out of a range of a one-shot from Phantom Dive. given that 210 HP that we were talking about earlier, and especially on Raging Bolt, who I think is 240.
Yes, and part of I think the bigger reason, as the first Phantom Dive that we can see come down here into the Wellspring Mask can sprinkle 10 onto the Latios, 10 onto the Teal Mask Ogerpon, and 40 onto the Raging Bolt, putting them all into range of a Phantom Dive. I think the bigger reason for knocking out that Dusclops is so it does not threaten to become a Dusk Noir, and then take 3 prizes in combination with a boss's orders onto that Mega Kangaskhan.
Yes, that would be extremely detrimental in the prize race, especially since Mega Kangaskhan is typically used as more of a support Pokemon than anything. There is a couple decks that do use it as an attacker with that triple something.
Ooh.
Rapid fire combo?
Rapid fire
combo.
That's the one.
That's what it was, because I remember you. It's just keep going until you get tails, and it does 50 damage for every hits. But typically you need quite some of those. It requires 3 colorless energy, and sometimes a lot of decks like Mega Absol from the previous format, which has sadly fallen out of favor, tended to use that as an attacker given the amount of energy that they had on the board at a given time.
And you do see it attack from time to time in the Raging Bolt. Like often it's a bit more of a pinch attacker.
Exactly.
But it can be set up with the Crispin and the energy switch and swing with a large body when the situation calls for it.
So Hal's going to finish shuffling here off of the unfair stamp. Off.
Only 5 cards for Hal, 2 cards for Josh.
Or, I'm sorry, he hit a Lilies off of that. He hit a Lilies off of the stamp and then Lilies for 8 cards. He didn't like that unfair stamp hand. We're going to attach the Psychic Energy to the other bench Dragapult here. Just getting your energy sorted for next turn. Going to knock out that Wellspring Ogerpon and then just ping everything. Like we said earlier, get everything down to 200 damage exactly. And he's going to take 2 prizes off of that exchange as well. So for Josh over here, I think his main line at this point is going to be Raging Bolt, because you can draw 2 with that Mega Kangaskhan and then retreat out with a Latios. But I don't know where you go from there, because you don't have that much energy left on the board outside of the 1 grass that's on that Teal Mask Ogerpon. So you would need the Crispin. That's a good start. Probably grabbing a grass for the Teal Mask and then a lightning energy for the Raging Bolt. That gets you up to 4, which will allow you to swing for 280
with 4 energy. Yep.
Cannot do math.
So you're going to be needing a little bit more than that to find the knockout on the Dragapult. And then the bigger question becomes, how does he find these last 2 prize cards? As another energy, another grass energy for a Teal Dance here would get him to 5 to be able to knock out this active Dragapult. But Hal is already setting up a Dragapult on the bench, meaning he likely won't need to put down a liability like the Meowth or like the Pheasantipity EX.
Exactly.
In order to take another KO on this damaged Raging Bolt with a Phantom Dive. So Josh will either need to find another 5 energy setup from starting with none on the board, or he'll have to find some other way to get those final 2 prize cards.
Night Stretcher back Wellspring Ogerpon. Slap the Dracloaks. I'm just saying it exists. It's a possibility that it exists. We can never rule it out, even though it would be extremely awkward to do so.
It'd be a little hard without Crispin, as you would need to be committing to Boss as your supportive return.
Exactly.
But technically, and we see energy switch get discarded. As I was about to say, you would need
energy switch,
energy retrieval, and 2 energy switches.
Getting the Fez to be able to draw 3
energy onto there.
Yep, getting the Fez to be able to draw 3. I'm not sure. Well, I mean, at this point, you have so many 210 HP Pokemon on the board that have been pinged with no way of moving it back thanks to no Monkey Dory that I think it's fine to bring out Fez anyways. It's not much of a liability compared to everything else on the board.
Yep, I think that it's very unlikely that Hal's going to be able to take a multi-prize turn on the next turn, especially without any Duskulls or Dusclops set up. So being able to cheat that extra damage into play, it's not really going to be an option. So Josh
I did
looking to
see
just
another
take a
grass energy hit the
2-2
hand.
prize trade here, and hopefully just win off of being the first one to grab a big attack.
There comes the extra grass energy that you needed to be able to hit that range for the Dragapult. So technically, Josh does have knockout this turn with if you were to discard all of his energy.
See another grass energy as well as an energy switch in hand. So that Wellspring line could be cooking
It
up.
exists. It exists.
Depends on how many energy switch are in the deck.
I think we did see at least one get discarded there.
Yep. So you can see it on top of the discard pile there. It's going to be the Retreat into the Raging Bolt and the Bellowing Thunder for the knockout.
Swing out, discarding everything to gain him another 2 prizes.
5 energy for 350 damage and the knockout.
We're going to see how promote the next Dragapult that has been lined up and primed for bat.
For the most part, it is
For the most
still
part.
missing a fire energy.
It is. But I think if Hal has a Night Stretcher, he does have access to his own Pheasantipity, but at the same time, that is slightly a liability given that it would allow Josh an easier out to the 2 prizes he has left. Josh's hand has a lot of grass energy in it. Realistically, I don't think it's going to be that hard for him to be able to get that 5 energy back on the board for a knockout as long as you have the Crispin.
It could definitely depend on whether we see a judge from Hal's side.
This is true.
As Judge will be able to disrupt that hand and put Josh down to 4 prizes. Obviously, if it has to be searched out by the Meowth, it's putting a much more vulnerable Pokemon into play, making finding that knockout potentially a little bit easier with the help of Boss's Orders. But the use of Boss's Orders means that we couldn't use Crispin, so...
Yes. I'm trying to see what in-house hand here. I know there's a Dawn at the top of it, but I don't think there's much else besides that fire energy that just hit the board.
I think I recall seeing a Meowth in Hal's hand, but I don't know if that was before or after the Lilies.
I think that was before the Lilies and the Unfair Stamp. So unless he drew back into it, that would change things, because then you get your boss. Rare Candy, that helps next turn. And then that's going to be the Latias, and I think that was the Dusknoir as the top as well.
Yep, the Dusknoir to the hand.
So it is set up for a 3-prize knockout next turn, as long as Josh doesn't get the knockout on the Dragapult that's in the active.
Thinking through his options here.
Checking the discard, trying to probably see how many energy switches have already been played and how much energy is in the discard, considering that Raging Bolt does entirely rely on energy.
I think the decision that's being thought over here is, my hand is very good. Do I want to shuffle it away on Judge? Because I think Josh might have it in hand. And we're going to see the Meowth come down, which I think is likely going to be searching for either that Judge or the Harlequin.
Nope, it is going to be a Boss's Orders.
Boss's Orders
promoting that Latias. I'm trying to remember how much damage everything has on the bench at this point, because I feel like Hal's dumped a bit more damage onto one of these Pokemon more than the other. I don't think it's going to be enough for a 4-prize turn, but I think everything on the bench is at least pinged to 10.
I don't think everything on there is. I think there's 40 on that Raging Bolt, and then I believe each of the Teal Mask, or one of the Teal Mask Ogerpons has 10, and the other 10 ended up on the Latias.
So he can take a knockout on the Latias this turn, but then if once he does swing, he's able to ping the 10 onto everything else. That Mega Kangaskhan is still sitting there. I'm wondering how much damage is on that. I think it might just be 10.
I think it is just 10. I think he may have gotten Itchy Pollen one time.
That adds
the damage that it's taken. As we see an Ultra Ball for another Meowth, getting ready to grab that supporter for next turn. If he makes it back through the turn cycle, shuffling up before we fire off the Phantom Dive. Meowth so excited.
That's a second Meowth.
Jumps out of the hand
I was
there.
going to say, a second Meowth is hitting the
that
board.
Damage gets spread. Looks like 10 on the Fez, 40 on that new Raging Bolt that came down, and then 1 on the Teal Mask that did not have it before.
Yep. Hal is going to take 2 more prize cards here, spreading some damage around. It's a very close game, all things considered.
Yep, it is all going to come down to whether Josh can find the knockout this turn with the pieces that he has in hand.
Although the Meowth is, to some degree, a liability, you do only need 3 energy to get it off the board at that point.
And actually, I think this is why Hal chose to boss and knock out the Latios here, is it makes Josh's promotion on this next turn a little bit difficult, as he can't just go into that Kangaskhan and draw 2 more cards, because without the Latios, it would get stuck in the active.
Yep. Now, also realizing that I'm remembering that Raging Bolt has no energy on it either, so it would have to be a Crispin to be able to accelerate it, which negates the boss's orders out.
Which is going to be 5. There's the Meowth. If there's a Crispin
The boss.
in the deck, it's going to be the boss's orders. Iron
Oh,
Leaves.
Iron Leaves, Rapid
Bossing up the
Vernier, getting 3 energy onto that Iron Leaves as soon as it hits the board and promoting it directly into the active to boss and knock it out. I didn't even know that was in the deck. That was a very good play. That was not a line that I was seeing at all.
It's a very heads-up play, knowing his outs, knowing that as soon as that Meowth comes down, it is a liability that is there for the taking.
Every time I forget that card exists, and then every time it always comes in and does something that's game-changing.
Oh, I play a deck that's weak to grass, so believe me, I do not forget about Iron Leaves. I am reminded quite frequently.
Poor Zoroark.
Poor Zoroark.
Poor Zoroark. It's such a shame. But at the very least, they are going to show, or they are going to be, or our round 2 is going to be done in about 6 more minutes here.
As I've been given
We've been
PP up.
an ends PP up. Speaking of ends Zoroark, accelerate energy from the discard to one of your ends Zoroark Pokemon.
One of your
kinda-
Zoroark Pokemon?
Or ends
One of
Pokemon.
your ends Pokemon. You can use this on. It does come up. It matters.
It does matter. It does matter.
Not anymore.
The PP
really.
the PP does come up to matter.
Some fun backdraft Darmanitan lines.
Oh, backdraft Darmanitan.
With Golden Go gone, really does not come up.
No, unless it's two Dragapult or Dracloaks. 2
Mhm.
Dracloaks.
But with about 5 minutes left before our next round gets started here, we're going to pass it over to a brief intermission so that we, as well as you, can get some water, use the bathroom, and get ready for round 3 of Wooper Wednesday.
I need to drink water. I am parched. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Hello. We're back.
Welcome back. We're big.
We're big.
We're big because the round is still finishing up. There's a couple players in overtime, but we have been given.
We have treats. We have treats to
Booster
keep you all
packs.
entertained. Jingling keys. Jingle, jingle. Jingle, jingle, jingle.
Jingle, jingle.
Perfect order booster packs. I opened so much of this set just from doing this. It's like actually kind of ridiculous how much of this set that I've opened. All right. Sail Fossil. Rowlet. Hone Edge. That art is so hard to tell what that is with the glare. Nose Pass. Vivillon. 4. Luxio. Jacinth. That's good. Seal.
Pow.
Rattata. Chinpow.
Keep fighting energy.
Chinpow, but it's not Snowsink. This is so sad.
Oh, neither of us hit anything. Do you think we just rip the other ones now too?
I mean, we could. We did have other ones that we were saving, but I mean, we could.
While the round's going.
Yeah. While the round's still going.
While we're big.
Yeah, we are big. Then we don't have to reset the stream again. Oh, you guys are so lucky. Some more jingling keys. Jingle, jingle. Jingle, jingle. Jingle, jingling keys. Jingle, jingle.
Well, because we can't stop if neither of us got it.
Exactly. That's just sad.
All right.
Another Rattata.
Back to it.
Spinnerack. Nose Pass. Skorupi. Jacinth. Shaman.
Another Pokepad.
Lumio's
Barbaracle.
Gellet.
Fletchinder.
Gengar. It is the reverse. We're in the reverse territory. Ooh, Talonflame. Luxray reverse.
And an Aurorus.
Yveltal full art.
Yveltal. See, we had to open the one
Yeah,
more.
yeah, we had to open one more. That's where they were. They were hiding from us. Don't worry about it. I think
Pretty bird.
I swear I have pulled like 4 Yveltals from this set. I don't think I've opened a single other EX. I'm so serious. It's kind of ridiculous. I opened that Meowth, and that was it. The Meowth was the only other EX that I've opened from this set. I think I have 4 Yveltals in the bulk that I just gave Ben, not counting this one. I had a full play set. It's kind of ridiculous.
It's like me and those Mega Audinos.
Yeah,
Haunting me from Ascended Heroes.
it's terrible.
All right, as we're going to go ahead and start getting set up
Say-
for our next round here, we're going to go ahead and shrink ourselves back down here.
We're small
To
again.
a
Oh
more
no.
reasonable size.
So you can actually see
We're
what's
so
going on.
cooked, Chad.
Apparently we're cooked, according to Josh. I think he is probably on stream again
Obviously.
by that.
That looks about right.
Yeah, that looks right. Yeah. Based on that reaction, I think Josh is probably on stream again. If not, he's just cooked in general. Ooh, I know who this is. Hello, festival lead. We got Nikolai coming in with his usual festival lead nonsense. Oh, is this festival into Bolt? Is that what's happening? Yeah, I can see why he would say that he's a little cooked now. It's typically not a good matchup for Raging Bolts at all, given the fact that you're swinging into one prize Pokemon literally every time. Because you have that Boom Boom Groove, you don't have to play any 2 prize Pokemon. You have all your 1 prizers will be able to do everything you need, like get the search for cards. You don't need a Pheasantipity. You don't even need draw, considering that you're just looking at your deck every single turn. But it's just 7 Pidgeot EXs. Fah!
And frequently, these 1 prize attacking decks can be very difficult for Raging Bolt to keep up on the prize trade with because they play almost exclusively 2 prize Pokemon, and that Shaman shuts down the Water Pond plan.
Yes, and that's a big problem if you're Josh. Unless you can boss around the Shaman, but even then, doesn't feel good. Reset the scores here. And they're just going to start getting it set up. Oh, yep, we are on round 3 as well. That does need to be changed as well. Getting set up for Festival. Festival lead enjoyers rejoice. I know this deck has become significantly more popular, given rotation and everything, but I always like to see it considering he's been a consistent underdog. Yeah, I think this into Bolt is going to be pretty interesting if Nikolai doesn't brick here.
Yes, I think if both players manage to get set up, it will be a very interesting game.
All right, let's see that opening hand. Is that a mulligan from Nikolai?
Might be.
I don't see a Pokemon in that hand.
Yep, gonna be a mulligan there.
I was going to say, that's interesting. Considering the amount of basics that are running that deck, you would think you'd be able to hit something. But as always, mulligans always do happen. So we'll just keep going until we get set up. It'd be so much nicer if it was like the online where all your mulligans happened at once.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
It'd be so nice. In Josh's hand, he does have an Ogre Pawn in hand. So I'm wondering if what's in the active there. All right, let's see it.
New hand for Nikolai, looking for a basic in this one.
No mulligan, no basics. It's going to be 2 mulligans for Josh, 2 extra cards he can draw. That's going to be actually a very big help in this matchup, I think.
Definitely increases his odds of being able to find and threaten that Wellspring Ogerpon's Torrential Pump before Nikolai may be able to find that Shaman.
Yes. I think Nick only runs 1 Shaman. I could be incorrect. He might run 2. So if it is in the prizes, this is also going to be another tough matchup.
I know some of the festival lead players also opt to run, or rather alternatively opt to run Rabska
Yes.
as their bench protector.
That is also
more beneficial in the Dragapult matchup.
Yeah, that is also an option there as well. I'm not actually sure what he runs. I can't remember. We are definitely seeing more Pokemon in hand, though, which is at least nice. Including the Lilies. I'm not sure who's going first or second here. But either way, we should be starting soon. If we can get the timer up. I think we're just waiting on a couple more tables to finish setting up, and then we will get straight into round 3. Is that 2 Ogre Pawns in hand for Josh? I was about to say, that's a nice little setup.
If it is, if he has the grass energy for them, as just about everything you want to see in an opening hand for Raging Bull.
How'd the pack opening go?
I was about to say, not too bad, not too bad. We kept people entertained.
Oh my god, dog.
Can you tell Chloe to set the timer?
Tell about the card show.
Oh yes, card show. We have a GLG has a card show this Friday.
Yes, for those of you who are in Rochester, GLG has a card show celebrating their 4th anniversary. Ben, 4th anniversary of the card show.
No, this is our 2nd show. We just celebrated our 4th anniversary, though.
Yeah, of being open. Yeah.
Close enough.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
We have a card show coming up.
There's a card show on Friday.
Second ever card show here at GLG, and on the anniversary, the 4th anniversary of the lounge opening, that starts at when? 5?
It starts at 5, runs till 10 p.m. up here in
We're gonna
Innovation
have all
Tower.
sorts of trading card games set up. I think a total of 13 vendors, for everything from Pokemon, Magic, Riftbound, One Piece, and others as well. If you are in Rochester, come by, check that out on Friday. We'd love to see you here.
We have the Cup Challenge Saturday. Doors open at 11. Cup starts at 12. Challenge starts after the Cup.
Cup Challenge on Saturday too.
For those of you who are in Rochester and also our Pokemon players, on Saturday we have our doubleheader Cup Challenge coming up. Our doors open at 11. The round 1 for the Cup starts at noon. The challenge will start later in the day once Swiss for the Cup has concluded, so that those who missed out on the Top Cut for the Cup can still compete for some points and some prizing in the challenge.
Yep, and everyone is welcome. You just have to bring your deck lists. Very important. Bring your deck lists, or at least write one in person. we have started the game here. It's going to be Mega Kangaskhan and active. There's 2 Grass Ogre Pawns on the bench, and also the Passimian. I
Interesting
think that thing
option to go into here.
That thing does have a Rondo. I know that for a fact, but I can't remember if it's based on your bench or their bench.
It is coordinated throwing, and I think it does 20 damage for each of your basic Pokemon in play.
That adds up. And it is just going to be attaching some energy around Teal Dancing and then passing. We do see the Applin inactive and then a Grookey on the bench into a Lily's Determination to refresh Nikolai's hand.
And I think kind of attacking through this Passimian might be one of the ways that Josh is hoping to stay even on the prize trade here, as it is a 1 prize Pokemon, so he won't be giving up as many prize cards in exchange if that Pokemon were to go down to something like a Do the Wave or a Rapid Draw.
Yes. Yeah, and you also don't need... This deck really does have it all in its 1 prize Pokemon here with the Boom Boom Groove and the Sea King's Rapid Draw to be able to draw you 4 whole cards if you have... Swing for 120 and draw 4 whole cards if you have the Festival Grounds in play. If not, you're still swinging for 60 and drawing 2 cards. It's not bad. And then those Grookies are not once per turn like those Thwackies are not once per turn like Pidgeot EX. You can just, if you have 3 on the bench, grab whatever 3 cards out of your deck you want. You don't have to reveal them. Just put them in your hand. Whatever you want, man. Just do, yeah.
A remarkably powerful search ability.
Yeah, this deck has had very good things built into it. It just has not seen its time to shine in the meta until now.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since everything's weak to grass.
It made the finals of a regional, though.
It did.
Calling correctly.
It
before
did.
Eventually losing to Gardevoir.
It is not fraudulent. It is not fraudulent. And this was pre-rotation Gardevoir, not post-rotation Gardevoir. So, but at the same time,
Post-rotation Gardevoir?
there's the Mega Gardevoir. I mean, some people play it. I've seen it a little bit.
I guess so.
Yeah. So it exists as a deck, so therefore I have to bring it up. So.
Okay.
Oh, we're going to see another Grookey and the Fish hit the board.
Coming down off the Buddy Possum, getting the whole bench set up, getting the whole squad in.
All the
and
fish.
We're going to see whatever Applin's attack is for, I think, 10 damage there onto the Mega Kangaskhan.
I think it's like tuck and roll or something for 10. It's something roll. I can't remember what it is. It's not.
Isn't there an Applin with spray fluid?
That might be the spray fluid Applin. Oh, that's not my phone. That's your phone. I don't even know which Applin this is.
Oh, there can only be so many, right?
Yep. I was about to say there can't be that many Applin, given that they've re-released them in literally every special set, specifically this card. It's the one that's upside down.
It is.
It's spray fluid for 20. He's spraying fluid all over that Mega Kangaskhan for 20 whole damage.
Gross.
Extremely.
Though, if it's apple juice, less gross.
Yeah. I think you could probably find. I think that's what they put in the Premium Power Pro. They just juice an Applin and put it in the Premium Power Pro. I think that finally solves our answer. I think it is apple flavored.
Applin juice.
Yeah. It's gonna be a pass over. Sorry, Josh is still going. He just attached a fighting energy to that Passimian and then a Teal Dance onto one of the Ogre Pawns. The Passimian is really interesting here as a 1 prize attacker for a Rondo.
There's the Raging Bolt. Filling up Josh's bench. Gonna need to see a way to get this Kangaskhan out of the active if Josh wants to start attacking here.
Yeah, he's gonna need an Area 0 to be able to get out of it, unless Latios is prized. Is Latios on the bench? I thought that was a Meowth.
Oh, looks like there was a switch played.
Oh, that would do it. That would also... I thought that was an energy retrieval. Or I think he energy retrievaled and then switches. We're going to see the promotion of the fish. Big fish. Fish.
As Josh goes down to 5, taking the first prize card of the game.
Yep.
And taking the aggression here in the matchup.
We're going to see the fish that draws you the fish of drawing many cards and doing 120 damage. That fish is very good as long as Nikolai can get out to Festival Grounds, which I think he might be grabbing off of the Thwacky here.
He should be able to, as the Thwacky can search for a Thwacky, which can search for
another Thwacky,
which can then search for the Festival Grounds.
Yes.
Getting the whole the whole
squad.
percussion section set up on the bench there.
Yep.
And then, of course, getting down the festival grounds for the rapid draw.
Nikolai also does play that Rillaboom in this deck as well. I cannot remember exactly what its attack is. I think it increases the attack cost and the retreat cost of the opponent's opposing Pokemon. It's not a bad attacking option, and it is to some degree
I think it's
similar to
primarily
Saw Block.
I believe it's primarily to answer Cornerstone, so I don't know if we'll see that come down in this matchup. But Cornerstone Ogerpon blocking damage from Pokemon with abilities, and as all of the Pokemon in Nikolai's deck there have the Festival Lead or the Boom Boom Groove ability, at least the ones that have any attacks that are worth using, Cornerstone otherwise is very threatening to Festival Lead as a deck.
Are we going to see the festival? Is the festival going to start? The drum line is ready. He's really thinking about it. Ooh, Lalana's Aid. Getting that grass and Applin back. The Applin's just going to hit the bench again, and we're going to attach to the fish. And there's the festival grounds. We are starting the party here. Going to be swinging into that Passimian, I think, for knockout.
Yeah, I believe the Passimian has 110 HP, so 60 damage twice from the rapid draw should be enough to get it done.
And then I think it's 4 cards.
Yeah.
4 whole cards.
Draw 4 is pretty good.
Yeah, 4 whole cards. And the prize card on top of that. So essentially you're seeing 5. And there's the Rabska. So you were right. It is Rabska. I think he was probably fishing for that just to be able to get out or negate the Wellspring. But I haven't seen Wellspring yet.
Yep, no Wellspring being developed on Josh's side yet. Could be that he's just not finding the pieces for it. Also could be that
The prize cards.
It could be in the prize cards. It could also be that he knows that Nikolai has one of those bench protectors in the deck, so might just be opting to try to go for the Passimian game plan rather than committing to a Wellspring and then having those resources committed onto a less efficient attacker.
That is also an option. He's got a decent amount of energy on the board as well already. He's just missing that fighting onto Bolt. You'll see that card fly out of the hand there. Ultra Ball discarding another Teal Mask Ogerpon. And he's thinking about it.
Thinking about the Cyrano.
I think it's going to be the Cyrano. I don't see why he would need it at this point unless it was to fish out the Wellspring Mask Ogerpon. But since we haven't seen it already, I don't think it's going to really get set up at this point.
I think the Cyrano is difficult in this position if he's not able to find Area 0 under depth.
Ooh, you know
his
what?
bench is a little too full to be able to...
Yeah, that Latias still hasn't been benched either, so that Mega Kangaskhan is just going to sit in the active unless he can get this. So we are going to see the Cyrano. There's the Latias, and there's the Fezandipity.
Fez, Latias,
and the Wellspring. But you only have 1 bench slot open unless you can get the Area 0 underdepths into play.
Potentially could go for a little risky line of benching the Fez and trying to draw into the Area 0 off of that flip the script.
This is true.
Hoping it finds you then the ability to get that Latios on the board. However, then if you miss, your bench is not in a great spot.
No, not at all. The Area 0 under depths. He is technically, because I know Nikolai definitely runs 4 festival leads, but I'm not entirely sure how many Area 0 Josh runs. I think it might, there's the Area 0 straight out of hand. If he is running 4, if it's both 4-4, the prize bump race is in Josh's favor here, where Nikolai will run out of festival grounds before he runs out of Area 0s. But
question, of course, is how many festival grounds does Nikolai need to take 6 prize cards?
That's exactly the case. We are going to see Raging Bolt be promoted. Glass Trumpet onto the Meowth and the Kangaskhan, and I'm assuming we got an E-Switch in hand. All the marbles. There we go. Put that onto Bolt, and then we are going to see a swing. Oh, Fez first. Sorry, can't forget the Fezandipity. Very important. Very
Fez
important.
last.
Or Fez before we swing. Very important for another Teal Mask to draw another card. get his hand up to an outrageous number. His hand looks like he's playing Festival Lead right now.
Nikolai knows what's coming.
Yep.
There's the Bellowing Thunder, taking another prize card for Josh.
We are going to see the promotion of the Apple here. And Nikolai needs more stuff on the bench in order to have Applin's do the wave attack be a little bit more worthwhile.
Yep, one of the sometimes weaknesses of Festival Lead, all of its attackers being stage 1s means that you got to keep developing those basics to the bench in order to have a steady stream of attackers to threaten your opponent with.
Here comes the Apple, and might I add, Nikolai does also have 3 unused Thwacky on the bench, as well as those 4 cards that he drew off of the rapid draw.
Notably, did have to evolve into that Diplin before he could start using the Thwacky.
Yes.
Applin does not have the Festival Lead.
Yes.
Which is required for that Boom Boom group.
Oop, Buddy Poffin anyways, you don't even need to search that out with the Thwackies. You can just get right up to that 5 Pokemon, exactly where you want to be at.
So maybe another Apple and maybe a Reller comes down here. Maybe we start thinking about denying that Wellspring Ogre Pond as a possibility.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what do the way. I think it's a multiplier. I think it's 20 times. I don't think it's 20 plus.
It is 20 times.
Yeah.
So the base damage will be 100 while your bench is full.
So that gets it up to 200. That isn't enough to knock out Raging Bolt. However, if the max belt is run in this scenario, or something like Black Belt's Training,
Or the Brave Bengal.
or Brave Bengal, I do forget that card exists. Does extra damage to your opponent's. Anything that does extra damage to your opponent's EX Pokemon is very good in this matchup, as Josh's bench is entirely EX Pokemon.
Also very good in Festival Lead in general, as the Pokemon attack twice, making any of those damage modifiers twice as effective when used on a Pokemon with Festival Lead.
Yep, so it's not 200 plus 30, it is 200 plus 60. Nikolai's searching out his... I can't tell if that's his hand or his deck. His hand's too big. It is his deck.
Triple Boom Boom Groove. What's
Exactly.
the difference, really?
It is his deck. He's going to grab everything off of the triple boom booms. The percussion line is playing their music now. Ideally, I think this is probably what you're talking about, the Brave Bengal into Festival Ground and into some form of energy. Boss, that also works. Festival Ground. Grass. Does he have... He has the max belt in hand.
Gonna be 150 times 2 from the 2 attacks.
So 300.
3 prize cards on this Mega King.
Wow. Yeah, that just gets you there. Or, well, I guess it's still... Does it have HP left? No.
Nope. Mega
Nope.
Kangaskhan with a base HP of 300 gets taken out cleanly by the
Wow.
attack here.
That puts
Like
Nikolai
3
very far ahead. That is a line that I didn't even see. Because I did mention the max belt, but I forgot that Kangaskhan was only 300 HP. I thought it was 310. Wow. Yeah, that puts Nikolai very far ahead. This is looking weird for Josh. He does promote one of the Teal Mask Ogre Ponds that has energy on it. Technically, he could do the Myriad Leaf Shower if he's able to accelerate enough energy on, and that would knock it out. But where does that get you?
I think the biggest problem here for Josh is that he really wants to be attacking with a Pokemon that is worth 1 prize card here.
I think this is probably the Passimian.
To try to force a 1 prize knockout from Nikolai.
Yep. Hence why we're seeing the Passimian back off of the Night Stretcher. He's trying to... He does have the Crispin in hand as well, so technically he could Crispin accelerate into the Passimian. And also he does have Fez active. I think that's another Crispin, another Area 0, and a Grass Energy. So that it does get you more draw with Teal Dance. I'm trying to figure out what Josh is possibly looking for here.
Yeah, options definitely dwindling on the side of Raging Bolt, as even if you recur this 1 prize attacker, it is very easy for Festival Lead to then find the knockout onto it. And with 2 Festival Grounds already used, that means there are 2 left in the deck for Nikolai unless one of them is prized, meaning he'll be able to enable the attacks and take 2 single prize knockouts. If Josh is able to find the line and put those up, Nikolai will likely be able to construct the response with the help of those Thwackies.
Yep. Especially since, again, the Thwacky lets you get literally anything you want out of the deck. So essentially, you can just build your own line. You see the line? Got 3 Thwackies? Go for it. And just slam and hit whatever you want. The only thing that is awkward here... Okay, here comes the Judge, which I don't think is a bad play. The only thing that is a little awkward here on the side of Nikolai is the damage output. So he'd have to be able to find something to get him to swing into that Meowth, or have swing into something that already has damage on it, unless he were to get the Brave Bangle.
This Judge coming down is Boom Boom Groove, needing your active to have the Festival Lead ability. Josh could take this knockout with the hand disruption from the Judge, and if Nikolai has to promote one of these Applins, as I said earlier, they don't have the Festival Lead ability.
No.
So if he does not find an out to the Diplin from those 4 cards plus the one that he'll draw for turn, could potentially buy another turn of attacks here for Josh.
Yep, we are seeing that Ultra Ball finally discarding that Teal Mask Ogerpon and a Crispin, which makes sense given that he has 2 in hand.
And we see the Wellspring on the bench here. Maybe Josh looking to buy a couple turns with the disruption of the Judge before finishing off with the Wellspring here to take the last 2 prize cards.
He would need 2 E-switches because he did play the Judge.
Well, he wouldn't be attacking with it this turn.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, I don't know where that gets
potentially
him.
He could.
I don't know.
If he blanks the attack this turn, is able to set it up, and then takes 2 this turn, buys the 1 turn, takes 2 on the next.
Yeah, it all depends if Nikolai has a swing here. If Nikolai can swing into one of these Pokemon and knock it out that isn't the Passimian, I think this is just game.
If Nick finds the Diplin, the Pokepad,
Boss,
Night
bug catching
Stretcher,
set,
Bug catching set could find it.
that helps.
Any of these outs to Diplin do just re-enable the Boom Boom Groove and allow him to get back whatever he wants from the deck.
So many apples. Bug catching set.
There's
is
the
it just
boss,
the bug?
too.
I know. I was about to say, is it
Right.
just the bug catching set and the boss that's in hand, or his other 2 cards?
Oh, there's got to be more, but they might be less impactful here, so we might just be milling over those 2.
Yeah, both of the boss is very important because then you don't have to use to search that out to get to the, or you don't have to use Thwacky to search that out. You can instead spend that on getting another Festival Lead back.
I do have to apologize. I've got to step away here. Jackson will finish out the game for you all.
All right. I agree. Let me just get in Jake's chair. All right, I'm Jake now. Okay. Oh, we are going to see the Iron Leaves Rapid Vernier into the, I guess that's what he Ultra Balled for. I must have missed it. He's going to Rapid Vernier into the Applin, promoting another, or sorry, the Diplin, promoting another Applin. Does Nikolai have an out to this? He does play the Bug Catching set, which is going to allow him to look at the top 7 cards of his deck and grab any 2 combination of Grass Pokemon or basic Grass Energy. He finds the Diplin and the Energy, so that saves him a lot of search, or that preserves his Thwacky significantly off of that. He just needs to find another Festival and some form of knockout here. There's the Brave Bangle as well. I think that is just going to be the line for the knockout, especially since he has Boss in hand and can just get rid of that Meowth. Oh, but he does only have 4 Pokemon on bench here. Yep. Gonna Boss the Meowth, swing, knock it out with the Brave Bangle. That's going to be 80. That's going to be 210 damage. That is more than enough to knock out the Meowth, and Nikolai is going to take the game here. 0-4. Festival Lead, as per usual, extremely, extremely good once you can get it set up. Those Thwackies just continuously get you cards, especially good against decks like Raging Bolt, since Raging Bolt is exclusively 2 prizers. You're swinging in for major damage, and you can't swing back into any 2 prize Pokemon because, once again, there are no 2 prize Pokemon in this deck. It's just all 1 prizers. This is just Night March again, but completely different. Any 1 prize deck. All right. So we have 11 whole minutes left in the round. They're going to pack up. In the meantime, if I can figure out... I was going to say, I need to figure out how to send us to commercial, per se. There we go. We'll be back in 11 minutes, 10 minutes. Hello, Glaceon.
And welcome back
Yes.
to round 4.
Welcome back. Final round, round 4. We have more festival lead. More festival
More
lead
festival lead for you all.
versus Grim Snarl.
Oh boy.
This is gonna go really well for Grim Snarl. Unless Nikolai bricks. But I think
Is it? I don't know. That Diplin does get to hit for weakness.
exactly. Is the timer working? Timer?
Trying to get the timer working.
Did I say timer?
There we go.
There we go. All right. Yep. So we got Monkey Dory, Snow Runt, Impet Imp on the bench. I presume Joe went first, given that Spike Myth is down. And now we have Relor, Thwacky, and the Fish for Nikolai on his side. Round just started. You didn't miss anything, except for some cards getting attached. Monkey Dory into Lily's Determination, so I'm sorry, Joe is going second. Gotta refresh his hand there. I don't know what was in it. Nikolai's got an air balloon and a boss's orders in hand. Or he might have more. I'm assuming he has more. I just can't see
Looks like
what's
more
left.
than that.
Yeah.
Should be more than that, given
I hope it's more than that.
how many cards you draw at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, I hope it's more than that. I really do. Let's see what we got here for Joe. I do see the Dark Energy. Another Impet Imp's going to hit the bench. Probably, I don't think that Monkey Door's going to hit the bench quite yet, but it might. Is that the Lucky Helmet? Is that just prize denial? Isn't it?
No, that is when the active Pokemon is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon. You draw 2 cards. So that rapid draw can be drawing 4 cards for each player.
Okay. Wow. That's certainly something that exists. Another Monkey Dory, and then a pass into the apple. We are going to see the Thwacky hitting the board. Start Boom Boom Grooving. Bump the Spike Myth for the Festival Grounds.
Something that is an interesting advantage that Festival lead finds itself gaining in the Grimmsnarl matchup is a high stadium count to bump those Spike Myth gyms with. Can make it very hard for Grimmsnarl to set up its main attacking line.
Yes, especially if that Spike Myth goes down first, because then you just have 4 Festival leads to continuously retaliate with to keep bumping the stadium war. We are going to see a Lily's Determination off of the Thwacky, shuffling Nikolai's hand and drawing him 8. Just getting a full refresh. I think that is a decent line, given that he only has 1 Thwacky on the board right now, which is a little scary for Festival Elite. You do want at least 2. We're gonna see the shuffling of the hands, and then we're gonna see what he draws. Buddy Puffin, another Festival, Max Belt.
Ooh, the Shaman.
Shaman's not bad here.
Shaman and the Raptor.
Shaman's not bad here, honestly, because that does just nullify. That nullifies the damage from Shadow Bullet.
True. Though I think since we already have the Reller on the board,
right? I don't think we'll play it.
With the reps.
It's probably just going to be fodder, but we are going to see the Buddy Puffin likely for. My guess is either 2 more Grookey or an apple and a Grookey. Probably just 2 more Grookey. Let's see if I am correct. I do see 1 in the front there. And, oh, yep, it is the apple. Not 2 more Grookey. He does have another fish in hand. But I don't think that's going to get put into play anytime soon. Really thinking about it here. What is that other supporter that he has in hand? I can't tell. Yeah, it's going to be the apple and the Grookey hitting the board. And then just shuffling the deck back up. And this is likely just going, unless he has an out to Seeking plus an energy, I think this is likely just going to be a pass.
Not the ideal situation that you want to be in.
No, but then again, you are up against Grimmsnarl, who has that major weakness to grass, especially when pretty much all but one of your attackers are grass in this matchup. Yep, it's just going to be the pass. Snover. Or not Snover, Snow Runt.
Not drawing more cards, however, did bump the Spikemuth and did not give any cards over from that Lucky Helmet, so could potentially see a fairly weak response turn from Joe as well, though there is that Petrol in hand.
Secret Box. I think we might actually see that come out. He does have a Pokepad and a Dark Energy in there as well. I don't think he's gonna... But... Did he just put his hand on top of his deck?
No, I think it's behind the deck there, just out of frame. Yep, there it is.
Oh, gotcha. I think this is likely, it's not Secret Box, it's just going to be the Spikemuth. I think he thinks that discarding all that energy is, or discarding all those options, especially another Snow Runt. And the Snow Runt and Frostlass are very big in this matchup, solely for the fact that literally everything on Nikolai's side of the board has an ability.
Yes.
So it's just free damage every single time. Along with the Dark Energy for Monkey Dory, being able to set that up pretty early is nice.
Yep, and Nikolai, without running anything like the Monkey Dory himself, and with Picnic Basket having left the format, that damage can start to get threatening very quickly.
Badoo coming in, I don't think that's a terrible option. Or, well, it's at least being Pokepadded out, potentially as fodder. I don't think it's a terrible option, but then again, Nikolai doesn't actually run that very many items outside of the bug catching set.
Yeah, but that would, as well as the Pokepad.
Oh, the Pokepad does change this a lot significantly, yes.
A fair relevant few items to turn off here to try to deny seeing a whole wave of evolutions come down on the bench here.
Yep. And there's another Thwacky. So you got two available for you on the board now. That's going to end up being some form of search. Is that a Dawn? Why does he have a Dawn? Am I crazy? Is that a Dawn in his hand? Is that for the Rillaboom? It could be for the Rillaboom.
It could be for the Rillaboom.
I think it could be for the Rillaboom. I don't think I mind that, given that you don't really have... I mean, you could Pokepad for... I don't know. I'll have to ask him about that later. But he does have the Max Belt and the Buddy Buddy Puffin. It's just the issue of actually getting energy and the Seeking at this point. But he does also have two Thwackies open, so technically he could just search for the Thwacky, or sorry, the Seeking and the energy with the Thwackies, and somehow he has another Festival Grounds. This has been turn 4, and we have seen 4 different stadiums hit the board already.
Yes, yeah, absolutely a stadium war going on in this match here.
Yep, I think it is just going to be the fish.
Now, one thing of note here, if Nikolai is able to get into a Diplin to attack, with those monkeys having taken damage from the Freezing Shroud, a Do the Wave for 100 here would mean 2 prize cards for Nikolai, as whatever Joe promotes afterward would immediately go down to the second Do the Wave.
Yes, that is a big thing as well, except I think that Frostlass has 110.
No, Frostlass has 90.
Oh my god, wow, I was way off. Okay.
Yep, and the Morgrims each sit at 100 with that grass weakness, so very much in range of the little apple that could.
They're taking 200 either way. We are going to see the Thwackies booming and grooving here to get... You good?
Yeah, the
cord stuck? Cord stuck?
Run over a cord.
Cord stuck.
Cord stuck.
We are going to actually see the attachment to the Diplin here, and then what is that to switch? Is that a Kieran? I think that's a Kieran.
Yeah, that is the Kieran switch there, and is able to get into that Diplin, which is going to mean 2 prize cards here for Nikolai.
That's a pretty big lead, considering that he was a little behind on the setup there. Promote the Monkey Dory, and then I guess he's just going to draw... The Lucky Helmet is going to draw Joe 2 cards, but it preserves him from getting the 4. Or prevents him from getting the 4, excuse me. We do still see the 2 Morgrim on the bench, and another Monkey Dory, and that crucial Frostlass, which is going to start putting damage onto a lot on Nikolai's side of the board, but that damage doesn't really matter when you're 4 prize cards ahead.
Yeah.
Or when you're 2 prize cards ahead in a single prize stack.
And notably, being able to avoid having to use 1 turn here taking a single prize does mean that 2 knockouts on a Grimmsnarl would be able to find the game here for Nikolai.
Yes.
However, a bit of a problem here in terms of the pressure that can be put onto Nikolai's bench for multi-prize turns by Joe is that Reller has not been able to evolve
It has
yet.
not.
And so this
didn't notice
turn, I
that.
believe that Reller has 50 HP, which means it is vulnerable to the combination of Adrenabrain plus Shadow Bullet from Joe's side.
Oh yeah, he does have 20 damage on that Monkey Dory to toss back over there as well. Are we going to see I mean, we're probably going to see multiple attachments here to the Morgrim and to the Grimmsnarl as well. But yeah, I mean, does Nikolai still have... I don't know if he still has Shaman in hand. That does solve some problems.
I think that Shaman might still be in the hand, so we can see that one come down if that Reller does get knocked out.
Alternatively, you have many outs to it with the bug-catching sets and Thwacky and potentially the fish if the fish wants to swing. But I don't think the fish is going to swing this game. I think we're going to see exclusively apples.
Yep. Would not be all lost. However, you do prefer to give them 0.
Yeah.
Such that letting them get 1 off the bench here might be just enough to sneak their way to that 6 prize card line.
I think Joe is trying to figure out what he wants to do here. Because technically he could just get rid of that Rabska this turn, or the Reller, and prevent the Rabska this turn. But at the same time, that Applin is sitting nice and juicy.
Apple, yeah.
Yeah, that Applin is sitting there.
Would deny the ability for a Diplin to come back out on the counteroffensive.
But at the same time, you do also have the fish as well. It isn't doing that much, but if you pull a boss's orders, you technically could pull up that Frostlass and knock that out as well with the fish. Draw yourself 4 cards to recover your hand. There's a lot of options on the board right now for Nikolai. And a lot of options right now for Joe. I think he's just trying to figure out which one's the best.
And I do think taking that... Oh, interesting. We're
switching.
going to switch to the Morgrim here.
Preserving the Grimmsnarl, I guess. Attaching another energy. That isn't going to knock out... I think that attack only does 40 damage?
So we could see the Adrenabrain.
Adrenabrain onto the Thwacky. I don't know how I feel about this.
Have another Grimmsnarl in hand. Nope, it's just going to be the Corkscrew Punch.
No, because I think you've... Yeah.
We'll take the knockout.
How much does Corkscrew Punch do? 80? Does it really do 80? I can't believe that. I guess it does. I guess it does do 80.
I'm not sure. Let's do a little chat.
I was about to say, improvisational research, the thing that we're very well known for at this point.
Barney's Morgrim hits for 60 with that Corkscrew Punch. So the 10 damage on it from Frostlass, plus the 60 from the Corkscrew, plus the 10 as the turn passes back to Nikolai will be enough to pick up
That would solve it. That would solve it. But we do have another apple. More apples. So many apples. I'm trying to see if Nikolai has a Night Stretcher here in hand, but he does also have the Dawn to just get him back out to another apple, which is fine. We could also see that Rillaboom. I'm assuming he'll probably search out the Rillaboom just to thin it out of the deck as well, if it's in there. We didn't get to see the Rillaboom come into play last game, but it might actually come into play this game, given that...
could actually be a decent attacker into the Grimmsnarl if all of these apples go down. And maybe that's what Joe was worried about when he chose to go with this Corkscrew Punch line, as perhaps even if he removes all those apples, a Thwacky could still turn into a Rillaboom and swing out for 2 prize cards.
This is true. What I am a little interested in here, though, if Nikolai doesn't go for the boss onto the Grimmsnarl,
Nikolai can't go for the boss.
Oh, no, he did just use the Dawn. Yes, he did just use the Dawn, excuse me. So he's going to swing into the Morgrim. But either way, you're still getting damage onto that Grimmsnarl there. You're still getting 200 damage.
Yes,
that doesn't solve the problem.
Yes, you are looking at the option of either giving up another 2 prize cards by promoting something other than the Grimmsnarl, or putting potentially 200 damage onto your Grimmsnarl.
And with another swing from Diplin or even the fish, that would be enough to knock it out. So And
interestingly, Nikolai could, with the damage that should be on the Grimmsnarl here from the Frostlass tick, if he has something, if he has the max belt in his hand, which I think he does, he could commit that onto the Diplin and then swing so that that Grimmsnarl cannot be promoted safely as the damage buildup. Actually, no, Grimmsnarl has 330, doesn't it?
It is 330.
So that would
Yep.
leave it just out of range.
Yep. Grimmsnarl is 330, so it would just be just out of range. But either way, you swing into the Morgrim here. It's only one. You swing again, so you swing into the Grimmsnarl for another. You swing into the Grimmsnarl for another 100.
200
Or
with that
200.
grass weakness.
So, but that's what I'm saying. You're essentially taking 2 prize cards here either way, or 3 next turn. Because that Grimmsnarl, you only need to swing once, and then you can swing to the Frostlass or the Monkey Dory, and then that's just game.
Whatever follows it off the bench, unless we see something like the Pheasantipity or the Meowth or some other, the Blood Moon Ursaluna, something else that is not weak to grass and has more than 100 HP, hit the bench.
And the Rabska has also hit the bench as well, so the Shadow Bullet into that Applin that is sitting nice and vulnerable at 40 HP is not going to do anything. The best Joe could do would be able to move that 1 ping, and that's it.
Now, notably, that Thwacky on the bench is starting to hit quite a bit of damage stacked up on it. It's got 6 damage counters sitting on it over there. So Joe starting to reach the point where these Pokemon
the judge
threatened.
Yeah, the 6 is going to turn into 7, and then on the other side, on that other Grookey, I think it's going to go from 5 to 6.
Indeed, and I think we should be getting damage counters on that Rabska as well.
Oh yeah, I think that is missing from in between last turn. Unless Circular Shield. What does Circular Shield prevent fully?
I believe it is damage and effects of attacks done to your benched Pokemon.
Is it just attacks or is it abilities?
So, pardon me.
Because I can't remember. Let me double check. Rabska TCG. Because this thing only has 1 good card, so it should come up. Spherical Shield. Yep, it is effects of attacks. And then Psychic for 10. This attack does 30 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So realistically, we could see Rabska swing in here for
140, most likely.
Well, yeah, 140, which it's something. It's not negligible.
Though, combined with a black belt's training and a maximum belt,
That's what I'm saying.
that
It's not
does
negligible.
Put it to 350 with that grass weakness.
Yeah, it's not at all negligible.
Rabska able to potentially take a KO on a Grimmsnarl with the right combination of damage modifiers.
Gonna move 7, or gonna move up to 7 on that Thwacky over there. Bump up another apple. If Nick can just get another festival grounds, a grass energy, and a Diplin, this game is basically locked up. Except for I'm sorry, he could technically promote the Monkey Dory as well.
Yep,
now that the damage is off of it.
If we can fill up the bench, find the festival grounds. So here's the Poffin. We'll fill up the bench.
I was about to say, that fixes the bench problem.
So we need the Diplin, we need the festival grounds, and we need a grass energy.
Yeah.
And we've only got 2 Boom Boom Grooves available, so we need one of those pieces to already be in the hand.
Yep. The Festival Elite, I always assume that they have some way to fill their bench. If they don't have some way to fill their bench, something is going very wrong. But we are going to see another Fish and a Grookey hit the board.
It looks like there's the air balloon. And it looks like the other card in hand there, at least one of them is Max Belt, so we might not actually have the Diplin line here into the Grimmsnarl. Might just have to go for the Rapid Draw.
No, it'd have to be the Goldeen's. Yeah, I was going to say this would have to be the
Goldeen's attack costs 2 energy, so we might just be looking to buy a turn here on Nick's side.
I think we might be. I think he's Lily's Determination. I don't know how I feel about that. Why wouldn't you just Lily's while the Applin was inactive, unless all your apples are prized and in the discard?
That's a good point. Could be. Yeah, trying to think why you wouldn't rip the lilies beforehand,
especially after you hit the buddy.
If you get into that there, as the
we're gonna see Forest of Vitality.
Oh, I think what it might have been was I don't think that Lily's was in the hand. I think we had to Boom Boom Groove for it, which means we needed Goldeen in the active.
Oh,
'Cause we needed that festival lead ability in play.
that would make a lot of sense. He also does, or well, I guess he can't Kieran, but I'm not sure if he has a switch in this deck.
I think there is a switch in there. I think there's the switch and the Kieran. The Kieran we already did see get used. So we'd need to find the switch.
Bug
but
catching
does
set.
now only have one Boom Boom Groove available.
Bug catching set. There's the Lana's Aid, but it's actually going to be so that's still in the deck kicking around. I didn't get to see what he put in his hand there.
Looks like at least one Grookey.
Just
One Grookey
thinning the
on that
deck.
card.
I'd like to assume that's probably an energy, but I could be completely wrong. Excuse me. I'm wondering what is in his hand exactly at this point, because based on what Nikolai has in hand, he could just pull out something crazy. Another bug catching set that does help. We are searching for so many bugs right now. He missed entirely.
Whiff on the bug catching set. See a festival grounds in hand.
So I don't think
Maybe the Boom Boom Groove here.
don't think you put the festival grounds down this turn unless you have an attacker. There's the Rillaboom. So if he has the switch, he should be able to a switch and an energy. He should be able to get out of it. Keep in mind, Rillaboom does not have the festival lead ability. It is just I can't remember what set it's from. It's one of the newer sets.
From Perfect Order.
Yeah, that actually adds up. Wow, gonna evolve into that Rillaboom there. Excuse me.
Wow.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that yawn. Gonna evolve into Rillaboom, push up, probably some form of switch, I believe, or no, actually just a pass. I don't know if I like
evolving into the Rillaboom there, as it would have died otherwise to the Freezing Shroud.
Yeah, that makes sense. What I'm trying to figure out is why he played that Festival Grounds when Spike Myth was already in play. I think I probably would have just held onto it unless he's really afraid of Judge.
I think that may have been the third Spike Myth gem
that
that
could
was
also
getting
be
bumped there. So it
yeah.
could be that he figures there are no more Spike Myth in the deck. So in the case of something like a Judge, he doesn't want to risk that Festival Grounds going back into the deck and having it be one more piece that he needs to fish out in order to find game on the next turn.
Although I do think missing a knockout here for Nikolai does cause quite a bit of problems. How much damage is on that Grimmsnarl? Oh, I can't see the dice. Is there more dice on that? Shouldn't that Grimmsnarl have more damage on it from the festival?
It doesn't look like it, unless it didn't get attacked into.
I thought it got attacked into off the second swing with the
Must not have. Either Festival Grounds wasn't in play, or Nick chose not to swing in so as to not give more damage for the Monkey Dories.
I mean, that does make sense as well. That does add up. The Lily's Determination is going to come out, get Joe 6 new cards, not 8, because he is not at 6 prize cards. Let's see what he gets off of here. The secret box is there as well. Going to be discarding an Ultra Ball, probably that Petrol, and probably that Luxurious Cape. That's not a Luxurious Cape. Is that a Luxurious Cape? I thought that card rotated.
No. Oh. Luxurious Cape has rotated.
Okay, I was about to say, I thought that card rotated.
Else in the hand there. Might be another Judge?
Didn't look like a Judge.
The kind of old art Judge?
No, it didn't. I think the border was gray on that, but I could be, once again, I could be completely wrong. As I am known to be completely blind, that's why I have the glasses.
You know, it may be another lucky helmet.
Could be another lucky helmet. Actually, I could be
tool card.
I could be I could be I keep forgetting that card exists in general.
Or it could be a Luxurious Cape and Joe may have not realized that it rotated.
Well, if you didn't realize that it rotated, you'd think that TM Evo. I was about to say, I don't think that's the case. Because yeah, you would have had to take TM Devo and TM Evo out of this deck, unless you built it after rotation, which is also crazy. It is going to be you are going to see that Spike Myth, Spike Myth and Pokepad, I think it was, and then I think there's the Judge.
So this, I think, the 4th Spike Myth gem hitting the board.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm a little afraid. That's why I'm.
Could, if that 4th Festival Grounds is in the prize cards for Nikolai, could be very problematic. And there's the Punk Helmet on the Grimmsnarl, actually very threatening to Festival lead as they punch in twice, meaning they get hit twice by the Punk Helmet.
Mm-hmm. It gives a good way to get back at them as well, but their Rabska is still on the board, and it is only at 3 damage. So it's going to be sticking around for quite a bit longer, given that there's not enough damage on the board for Monkey Dory to really fling at that thing just to get rid of it.
Well, that Punk Helmet is not going to be blocked by Rabska.
Right.
As it'll drop 4 damage counters onto the attacker when the Dark Pokemon equipped by it is hit by an attack, which is enough to KO that 80 HP Diplin when it swings in twice.
Ooh, that's a real problem, but we do have Rillaboom on the board. Joe's going to go down to 3 prize cards here. Or 2 or 3? Is that 3 or 2? I think it's 3. I think he set him up 3 and 3.
I believe so, unless we've
miscalculated.
Miscounted somewhere here.
Not an unusual thing to happen for us. Nikolai is really stuck here. So he does only have 1 Thwackey on board unless he were to go get another one with some form of retrieval. And notably, no Festival Grounds, no Festival lead Pokemon. You are going to need quite a bit here from Nikolai to be able to keep this game even.
Yep, and really it's all going to start with finding that Diplin to turn on these Thwackies. This Thwacky singular as one of them is now
there's a Grookey. I was about to say there's a Grookey, a Thwacky, and a Rillaboom. It's just a matter of actually getting to that second Thwacky and the Festival Grounds and the Diplin.
Lilies there might just be hoping that these 6 cards from the deck are good enough.
I was about to say I don't think his hand was doing him many favors at all.
Is an Adrenabrain KO somewhere maybe?
I don't think we did. I don't think we did because that Rillaboom evolved. I'm trying to figure. I think it might just be 3 stacked on top of each other, and it just looks a little funny. We could be proven completely wrong.
Either way,
Grookey,
Switch,
Fish.
One of the pieces.
There's an energy,
a Night Stretcher, and a
Pokepad. So the Night Stretcher could get you back the
so that
Diplin.
is out to another Thwacky and another Diplin, which will open up 2 cards out of the deck.
So I say I don't think one of the Thwackies got knocked out. Unless 2 of the Thwackies are prized. That would be extremely unfortunate.
Potentially Pad for the Thwacky and Night Stretcher for the Diplin.
Yeah, I think it has to be Night Stretcher for the Diplin here. Is one of the Thwackies prized? No. Okay. He was just thinking about it for a while. And then here comes the Applin back. And then that will be able to get you 2 cards out of the deck. So we are getting closer and closer.
This Punk Helmet presenting a potential issue.
Yeah, that's a major issue.
Though we have the energy. We have access to... No, we don't have access to a damage mod as we have that air balloon attached.
Yes.
Meaning we can't Brave Bangle or Backspell.
Right. But we can at least swing for weakness, just get it off the board so it isn't an issue in the future. But where does that get you? Especially if Joe has 3 prizes left, then that changes things significantly. But if he doesn't, it depends on where Joe's prize count is right now, because I genuinely cannot tell if he only has 2 or 3 left. Nikolai going to be grabbing 2 cards out of his deck.
Isaiah, could you check how many prize cards Joe has left?
We're getting a count. We're getting a count.
Going to get confirmation from the table as to how many prize cards are left for Joe here.
Can't be feeding you guys false information.
2 prizes on Joe, 3 prizes on Nikolai.
Okay.
It is 2 prizes on Joe, so we missed something somewhere. That changes things significantly as to the way Nikolai has to play this here, considering that he does not have access to boss, given that he just lilies.
Yes, and that Thwacky has a lot of damage piling up on it on the bench there. This Frostlass having been on the board for so long, putting such a strain on Nikolai's bench.
This is typically usually a favored matchup for Festival lead, but everything's just gone right here for Joe. I think Nikolai missing that turn where he had to promote the Goldeen instead really messed him up.
I think so, as well as
Yep.
And yep,
He sees
Nikolai
it. There's
just
no way to
scooped
get
him up.
out of it. Good game to both players here. Joe is going to take the game, promote to 4-0, while Nicola goes to 3-1, ending our round 4 for the week with 26 seconds left on the clock.
Yep, just in time. Players wrapping it up here, capping off another eventful Wooper Wednesday.
And we will be back next week. At least I will.
Yes.
I don't know what Jake's doing. He might be playing control. He might be playing control.
I think I should be here.
Yeah.
And I think, well, hopefully, if I can find someone to accompany me on the desk as Jackson's unavailable, hopefully be here on Saturday for our doubleheader cup challenge.
I wish I could be here.
So that we can cast that.
I'll be watching it on my
so
phone.
We'll see who ends up on the desk.
Surprise faces. We will see.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, happy Weaver Wednesday, everybody. You got anything else?
I don't think so.
I was gonna say, I don't
wrap this one up.
Yeah. See you all next week, or at least I should be here next week. I should be.
Should be.
Should be.
Barring catastrophic.
Barring catastrophic
event.
events,
I
yes.
think I should be here that Wednesday as well.
Yeah, I was about to say, barring catastrophic events where I end up back in Maryland, but I don't think that's going to be happening quite yet. So, all right. Good
Packed
night,
up here,
everybody.
leaving you all with the Glaceon plushie in the middle of the table there as we bid you all a good night and a happy Wooper Wednesday.